everyone, welcome back. I'm so happy you're here, and of course everyone has a great day so far. For everyone who is new here, of course, welcome to you too. I'm so happy you found me. And if you're not subscribed to the channel and you like what you see, of course, I hope you will click the red subscribe button. For today's we are going to use some smaller tumbling tile blocks. You'll find the measurement from the bigger and the smaller in the description box down below. I have here a container, but the most important is the wood glue, what we will use for DIYing. And I have here some paint, and you see already the three colors, red, white and blue. And of course we are going to do something for the 4th of July, a little bit of the patriotic style. I have here my saucer with an old piece of kitchen towel, which is wet, to wipe away the glue. These are the main pieces we need for DIYing. And of course what we're going to do, we are going to do something with a flag. So we will see how this will turn out. So now our first step will be, we're going to make kind of a flag with a bench on it. So we will see how this will turn out. I have something in my head. I don't know if it will work out, but we see it along the way. We are going to start with one side of our bench is 3 rows of 3 and 2 loose pieces. So 2 rows of 3. And we're going to do some glue on the top side over here and over here. Just roll them together. Very simple. Over here and over here, and the last, and of course this one, and you just easy squeeze it together this way, and then press it down. And you see already one block is much higher than the other one, I see already, but we are going to work. I'm going to place my loose blocks over here. I'm just going to turn it over, do the back side and place it here. Clean it up. I'm just going to turn it over, do the back side. You see where this one is really out of line. I don't know if I'm going to use it, but I'm going to try. We're going to make sure that everything is fitting nicely. And of course you can also place it on the side to get a straight line. So I'm going to always do it with my fingers, but you have a carpenter square, you can place it down. We're going to give it, now I think maybe 10 minutes. In the meantime, we are going to again take 2 pieces of 3 extra. 2 pieces of 3 to give it a little bit more like a high-end look. You see in a moment what I'm going to do with it. So again, place them together also. And this one. And you roll them together, same like you did with the first one. And again, oh, you see already, squeeze it. We're going to get our wet towel and we're going to wipe away the glue. And you see already he is sticking already on the table. Don't use extra glue. Just simply go back and just glue it back together. You don't have to use extra glue because you just can easily simply place it together. Without glue it is always tricky because when you glue it, it's glued. You can't change it up anymore. So again, we're going to let this one rest also on the side. So now we're going to take our 3 pieces, we just simply place it over here and over here. We get our loose blocks and we do some glue on this one, on the smallest line of the block and on the other side, on the smallest line of the block. And then very easy, you just simply place it together like this and then squeeze it. You do here the same, some glue here and some glue on this side. And you place this one against here and place this one over here and make sure that you have a nice piece and just glue it back together. And you're just going to leave it for at least 10-15 minutes before you're going to turn it and do the back side cleaned. So now we gave it a couple of minutes and now we have the other 2. What we're going to do, we're going to place them on this side and we do some glue on the underline. So not on the top line, just simply on the underline. And you just place them straight up and place it over here. And you do here the same. Just go over it on the underside. And then you're going to place it straight up. And again, you just simply, gently make sure that you press it together. Do this a little bit careful because it's a little bit vulnerable still, and you just simply make sure and you feel on the top side needs to be straight like this. and over here. And now you're going to let it rest for at least 20 minutes. So now again, we have 3 rows of 3 again, the same like we did with the other one, because we're going to make a kind of a decorative bench. So again, over here, and you can even make a gazebo out of it, kind of at least. But you can build it out as much as you like, because you don't have to do the way that I do it. So again, squeeze it, and you're going to place the loose blocks over here. You're going to get your wet towel, just simply wipe away the glue, just turn it over and do the back side. You do here the same. Make sure, press it together and do the back side. Always go back, feel with your fingers that the connection is straight. And over here, you just simply turn it over, clean it up and do the back side. And we're going to give this also again 15 minutes, 10 until 15 minutes drying. So in the meantime, we do again 2 pieces of 3, the same like we did with the other side of the bench. Over here, and we just row it together. And this one. And simply connect them in a straight line. And of course, I hope you do this together with me, but always leave a little minute in between. So, because I make mistakes, and if I make mistakes, you don't make them. So always leave a couple of minutes in between, or look a little bit forward. So you will see if I make a mistake or change it up, because I change a lot of pieces, because sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes I build a little bit extra. You never know. So we're going to let this dry also. So again, we have our 3 pieces of 3. We have our 2 loose blocks. Do some glue on this side and on this side. And you just simply place them together. We do here the same. And then we're going to close them up again, the same like we did with the other one. So again, place this one over here, this one over here. And this one will be the closure up, and gently squeeze it together. And feel with your fingers that you have a straight line, especially on the top, but that's what you want. Over here, and then press it. And you just gently clean up your glue, and then let it dry in. Of course, we're going to move it and clean a little bit already on the back side, because or else it is gluing on your mat. So again, we're going to let this dry in for a couple of minutes. Now we're going to get the 2 piece, and we do some glue on this side, on the underside, the same like we did with the other one. And you just simply place it straight up and place it over here. Give it a little bit of pressure, not too much. And we do here the same. A little line. And you just place it on this side, place it straight up, and then close it in with this one. And we feel with our fingers, and we just give it a little bit of pressure this way. And again, always go back, feel with your fingers that you have it in the line you want to have it. So we clean up our mat, and we're going to let this dry. So now we have the 2 sides of our bench, and now we're going to do a middle pole in between, but it's of course not the sitting area, but it's the little pole in between the sides. And it's 2 rows of 5, because I want to give it a little bit more like a high-end look. That's why I'm going to double it up, 2 sets of 5, and just simply row them together until 1 piece. You do here the same. But of course, I double it up, but you don't have to do it. If you don't like it, it's totally fine. And again, you gently squeeze it together this way and over here. And squeeze it. We're going to clean it up. And this way, press it again. And then turn it over. And if it breaks, doesn't matter. Just simply glue it back together again. Because wood glue is very forgiving. So always go back and press it together. Sometimes it takes a couple of minutes that it really will settle down, the wood glue. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer. It's also a little bit depending on your weather in your home, at least the climate in your home. Is it warmer days, it sticks better than it is a kind of a rainy day. At least that's what my experience is. Again, this one, and we're going to give it only a couple of minutes. So now we're going to do on the wider side of the block, we do some glue over here. And we place this one very gently on top and place it on the side. And then gently squeeze it together. And feel with your fingers that you have a straight line, because that's what you want. It has to be a straight line on the side. So again, we're going to let this rest. So for the top of the bench, we are going to use 3 rows of 5 and 6 loose blocks. So 3 rows of 5, we just simply do it on the smallest line of the block and row them together until one piece. Over here and over here. And I try to do not too much of the glue, but sometimes I'm really not always really a little bit glue. I always have a little bit too much. I'm going to squeeze it. I'm going to squeeze this one and this one. And of course, very easy. We're going to get our wet towel again. We're going to wipe away the top and just get it off the table. And it doesn't matter, like I told you earlier, if it breaks, it doesn't matter. You just simply turn it over and do the back side and glue it back together in a straight line. So easy to do. Again, get it off the table, clean it up and do the back side. You do here the same. Get it off the table and do the back side. And then go back, make sure that you have a nice straight line. And you're going to give it now, I think, maybe a couple of 10 minutes a rest. So now we get, oh, you see already, we get our 3 pieces off the table. At least that was what we're trying to get it off the table. We're going to place them this way. What we're going to do, we get our loose block and we do some glue on this side and on this side over here. And we just place it on this one. We do some glue on this one and on this one. And I think already you know which side I'm going for. And I keep it very basic this way. And because simply going for this one. Because I want to decorate the top also. I'm going to close it up with this one. And make sure that everything is fitting nicely. And we go for another loose blocks over here. But if you only place the bench itself, then you can lose maybe one over here. Maybe you can do one out over here. You can only do some poles. You can do anything you like. But like I told you, I'm going to decorate it. So I'm going to do not leave open too much. So again, over here. And we're going to close it up with this one. Make sure that everything is inside of your piece. And then give it some pressure, especially on the blocks which are connected to each other. And this way. And now we gently squeeze this one and we go over and we go over this one. And we're going to let it rest for at least 10 minutes. So in the meantime, while this piece is resting, of course, we are going to have 2 rows of 5 again. 2 rows of 5 and we just simply do some glue over here and row them together the same like we did with the early one and this one over here and the last. And easy, you're just going to squeeze them and you have the last of 5 and we're going to clean it up again. We go over this one and squeeze it, and then you're going to turn it around. And of course, you see already always one is always going to want to go away. And again, we're going to squeeze it, turn it around, clean up your mat and do the back side. And again, there he is already. I don't know what it is, but it's always one is escaping. Again, we're going to leave this for a couple of minutes. So now we have our 2 pieces again and we're going to do some glue on the smallest line under here. like this. Very easy. You just place it over here. Oh, you see already, he is going out of each other, but it doesn't matter. I'm just going to simply place it over here and press it together, and it glues by itself, so don't worry about it. Always when it falls apart, it doesn't matter because you can easily fix it again and just place it together. And again, press on the underside, and you already let it dry in totally this way. And you're going to let it dry, and of course I can turn this over to the other side and then glue it on the bench, and you can use the top. Of course, for a bench you have a little bit sticking up, but of course it is a decorative bench, so it doesn't matter. So you can do it this way, but you can also later turn it around. I still have to see what I'm going to do, but you see that later. First we're going to let this rest. So now we have all the pieces of our bench. We have our two sides, we have our pole, and of course our sitting area. What I'm going to do, I place one of the sides away. I place this one, of course, here you see the this way. And I'm going to place it this way. Of course, you have to be careful because this is not touching the mat, so that you don't press too hard or else you will break it. What we're going to do, we're going to get our pole. And we're going to glue this one, and of course if you are looking, the pole can only fit on a one piece, and that is of course this way, but you have to figure it out before you're going to glue it. Make sure that you figure it out where it needs to be, because you need it totally at the ending over here, and just let it dry in. Don't press too hard, it is just has to settle in, nothing more than that. So over here, and now we're going to get the sitting area, and of course we have to be careful. We just do this side of course one side of the area, and we just simply do some glue over it and over here, and we're just going to place it this way, and very gently we just place it on top. And feel with your fingers that you have a straight line, because that's what you want. Remove the glue which is sticking out, and again feel with your fingers on the side also. It's a little bit of a task, but just simply take your time for it, because you will be happy how it is looking like. So again, I'm going to let this rest for at least 20 minutes and half hour. So you see already I have a little brush shoved under this piece, because you see already he is one piece long, so one block, and that's very vulnerable. So I'm going to give it a little bit sturdiness only for this piece until it is dried up. What I'm going to do, I have now of course my second side, and I'm going to do some glue on this side over here, very gently. Just do some glue on the tops, and you do some glue over here. And now you very gently place this one on top of here, and this one over here, and you're just going to simply work with it until it is fitting in nicely. And this one over here, feel with your fingers, and until you're happy with how it is looking like, and it has a straight line, because that's what you want. And if you're happy with the shape, then you're going to make sure that you're going to let this dry. So now we're going to make the base of our flag, because our bench is drying. We have 4 rows of 4, and we just simply do some glue on the smallest line of the block and row them together again over here and over here. And the last. And of course you can make it as big as you like. I do only a little base, not too much, because he will be on both sides. And I'm going to make not really a traditional flag, but of course he will be a little bit of the rustic look. So not everything has to be perfect on mine, but of course you can do also a little print on top of here if you think it's a little bit difficult to paint. It is, but And of course, if you want to do all of them separately, then you have to color a couple of blocks in red, blue and white. But I'm going to do that later. So that's what I mean. I do it a little rustic. And again, this one. And the back side over here. Make sure that you have a straight line. And here the same. And we're going to give it a half-minute drying. Now we're going to turn them this way. And of course, he still is trying to get out of each other because this block is not totally straight. But we work with that, and in a moment he will dry nicely. And this one over here. And give it a little bit of pressure. And you do here the same. Fill in the open gaps as best as you can. And of course, some blocks will go out of each other, but it doesn't matter. You just press them down again. And this way you see you can easily work with the blocks. And again, turn it over and do the back side also. Here the same. Clean it up and do the back side. And we're going to feel with the fingers again. Always go back. Make sure that you have a straight line, because that's what you want. You don't want things are not totally straight. Like this. And we're going to let them rest. So now we have 4 rows of 4. And the only thing what we're going to do is do some glue on this one, this one, this one, and this one. And we do on this row some glue. And over here. And over here. And very simply, you just place them on top. Place it on top. I have to be sure that I have this one on the inside. Over here. Place this one on top. And this one on top. And place it on the side. And place it on the side and press it together. Press it together. Press it together. This one also. And here. And now you have 8 blocks. And again, we're going to clean them up and let them dry in for only a half minute. So now it's very easy. We are going to do some glue on this side, and row it together, and this one, and row it together until one piece, like this. And you do here the same. And it is still movable, so it doesn't matter if it moves around, because when you are making one pole out of it, you can easily just redo it. And again, very simple, just glue it together this way and press it together. And you're going to wipe away the glue and just gently squeeze it, and of course do the back side and clean it up. And most of the time I also go back again, so be sure that everything is cleaned up and not sticking on each other. So again, and you see with this one is already the blocks are really crooked with this one, but we're going to work with it. It doesn't matter as long as we try to get at least one side flat of the blocks. And you can do it of course also this way and then press it down. You see already how much bigger this one is. And again, press it down. Over here and over here, and let them dry in. So now we have all our pieces. We have our 2 flags, which will be later a flag. We place it on the side. We be doing this in another color. We have 2 poles and of course our bench. I'm going to do both of them in the white color, and later we're going to glue it on the side of our bench. But first, this 2 and this one, of this 2 and this one, we're going to do in the white. But I'm not totally do it in the white, but a little bit of the distressed white. But of course, choose your own color. You don't have to do it if you have another country. You don't have to do it for the 4th of July. You can do it for Canada Day. You can do it for any country you are from. So you don't have to do it from the 1st of July, because I'm from the Netherlands and we have the same colors, but we have a different flag. So everyone can do it at their own taste. So now I have my bench and my poles in the white color, and I'm going to do now the flag, of course, in a little bit of the red and later some white stripes. And these 2 blocks I'm going to do in the dark blue color. So, but like I said, I like a little bit more of the dark blue color, but if you like a brighter color, it's also fine to do whatever you think it's right. So my flag, of course, I did both of them now in the totally red color on all sides because I do only the front side with my flag. Of course, I'm going to get my dark blue and I'm going to dab it in, and I'm only going to do the 2 blocks over here. I'm going to do in the dark blue color. So very gently, take your time for it, and very simple. Just only the top. Maybe you can do it a little bit wider if you think the measurement is a little bit better if you do it a little bit wider, like this. And the other one, of course, I do in the opposite direction because one is pointing this way and one is pointing this way. So, and now I'm going to get my smaller brush and I'm going to get my white. Just dab it a little, not too much because I don't want to have too big stripes. And I'm just going to simply make some stripes over here. And I don't do it too neat. I hope you call it this way. I don't know if you really call it neat. At least I try to do it a little bit of the rustic color. Not too, and of course I'm going to go now further over here. And I'm just going to do something. It's not really how you must do it. This is just something I like a little bit more of the rustic color. So again, I'm going to go over here. Little small lines. And the last row over here. And this way. And I'm going to let it dry. So you see already how easy was it just to make your own little flag. And of course it's not perfect, but I like a little bit of the rustic look. And I'm going to get now a marker. You can use, of course, some white paint to make some stars. You can do some dots on top of here. You don't have to do stars, of course. It's only a decor piece. And of course you can buy some little wooden stars and make them white and then glue them on top of here. So you can have different ways. You can even make them from cardboard. So go ahead, do whatever you think. I'm going to try for this one. Maybe later I have to do it with some paint. We will see. So now we have our 2 poles, and of course I'm going to place them down with the double side on top over here. And I'm going to glue this one. Of course, I have to look for if I have it in the right position like this. So this one will be glued on top of here. So this way over here, and I'm going to do it a little bit lower. So I'm going to do a little glue over here, a little line, and I'll do it a little bit lower than the pole itself. So again, like this, and then I'm going to press it down. And if you're happy with the shape, then you're going to let this dry. Of course, this one will be over here. So I have to look for this one will be this way and this will be this way. So I have to glue it over here. Do a little bit of glue under here. And I'm going to place it again a little lower and give it some pressure. And we're going to let it dry in. So now the only thing we need to do is we're going to glue the flag on top of here. You can do them on the side. You can do them on the top over here. You can do them on the back side. You can do them on the front side. You can place them anywhere. I'm going to go for the middle here and the middle over here. So it's very easy to do. So I'm going to get my piece over here and I'm going to make sure that I have my glue. And of course you can use for this one, you can use some hot glue. You don't have to use the wood glue. And again, I'm going to place it at the end. I don't know if you see it over here. I'm going to place it at the ending, just in the middle. And make sure that they have a straight line with the ending. And I'm going to keep it in place for a little moment. And I do the other one also. And you see in a moment the quick impression. And here you see finally a quick impression of my Tumbling Tower Blocks 4th of July bench, and I'm so happy how this one turned out. And like I told you, you can change it up any way you like. If you're new here, I hope you give this one also a try, and if you're not subscribed to the channel, of course I hope you will click the red subscribe button. Everyone have an amazing day, and I hope to see you all in the next DIY. Bye!